The other day, I made a post on Reddit trying to figure out which great players young fans aren't likely to know. That post ended up getting over 500 comments with different players from different time periods that might go under the radar if you're a young fan today. I picked 20 of those players to talk about today. Going in alphabetical order, the first player on the list is Aeneas Williams. He played corner and then later safety. Williams came into the league in 1991. Starting in 1994, he made 6 straight Pro Bowls and made first team All-Pro twice and second team All-Pro twice. He also made first team All-Pro in 2001 where he was a Pro Bowler. He also made the Pro Bowl in 2003. He ended up playing a total of 14 years in the league, which is extremely impressive at that position. Fun fact, when he came into the league, he was playing for the Phoenix Cardinals, which I did not know was a thing. I thought it was always the Arizona Cardinals. But he played for the Phoenix Cardinals starting in 91 to 93. When they changed to the Arizona Cardinals, he played with them until 2000, where he got traded to St. Louis to play with the Rams up until 04 when he retired. Next, we have Andre Rison, who was a receiver for 12 years. He spent most of his time in Atlanta, but he was drafted to Indianapolis. He spent a year in Cleveland. He played for 2 teams in 1996. He also played for Jacksonville, Green Bay, Kansas City, and Oakland. Jeez, there wasn't a team this guy wouldn't play for. So in 89, Rison came into the league, and he immediately got 5 straight All-Pros, including a first-team All-Pro nod in 1990. In his 12-year career, he ended up with over 10,000 receiving yards and 84 receiving touchdowns. Goddamn. Next up, we have another receiver who was drafted in 1980 and didn't stop playing until 95, played a total of 16 years in the league, Mr. Art Monk, who played for the Washington name redacted until 94 when he went to the Jets, and then Philly in 95. Now, Monk only made 3 Pro Bowls, and he had 2 All-Pro selections. One was first team in 84, and the other one was a second team All-Pro in 85. But trust me, he was nothing to sneeze at. He had 12,721 total receiving yards to go with his 68 total touchdowns, which means he averaged just below 1,000 receiving yards a year for 16 years. That's just insane to me. I mean, he's putting up Mike Evans numbers, but back in the 80s. That's pretty cool. I just said something good about Mike Evans. Fuck!
We've been tricked, we've been backstabbed, and we've been quite possibly bamboozled.
Bill Romanowski was drafted to the 49ers in 1988. He played 6 straight seasons there and then got traded to Philly for 2 years, and he got traded to Denver, played another 6 years in Denver. He had his best years in Denver. He got traded to Oakland after that, played another 2 years, and retired in 2003 at the age of 37. He only made 2 Pro Bowls, but he got 966 total tackles in his 16-year career. And there's a good chance, especially if you're young, you just have no idea who the hell this guy is. Now, if you're a younger fan, there's a good chance you don't know who Bruce Smith is, but he was a dominant edge rusher. He played all throughout the 90s, and he was playing for the Bills for most of that time. He did 14 seasons in Buffalo, and then he went to Washington for like 4 years and then retired there in 2003. 19-year NFL career. He had 200 sacks total in his career. He had 1,075 solo tackles in his career. So he made it to 11 Pro Bowls, and he got first team All-Pro 8 times, second team All-Pro 3 times. He won the Defensive Player of the Year award twice, once in 1990 and again in 1996. This guy was crazy. Make sure you pay attention to his 1990 season. It was insane. He had 19 sacks. That's just insane. And I feel like not enough people know who he is.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Bryant Young is our next player. He came into the league in 1994 and played until 2007. That's 14 years. He played all 14 years for San Francisco. He was a defensive tackle, later got switched to edge. So he made 4 Pro Bowls. He made first team All-Pro in 1996 and Comeback Player of the Year award in 1999. That's the year I was born, and I had no idea who the hell this guy is. So it's, I don't know. Cool beans, San Fran. Cool beans. Up next is Dat Nguyen. I don't know how to pronounce your name. If I mispronounced it, I'm sorry. He came into the league in 1999 and left in 2005. That's a 7-year total career, and he had about 515 combined tackles, 402 solo, and 113 assisted tackles, 38 tackles for loss. Hey, it's not too bad for a short 7-year career, and he also got a second team All-Pro nod in 2003. Next, we have Herman Moore, who played 11 years in Detroit and 1 year in New York. He was a wide receiver. And let's look at his stats. In 1995, 96, and 97, he got the first team All-Pro nod. He also finished 4th in Offensive Player of the Year votes in 1995, looks like. So it looks like he had a little prime era between 94 and 97. In his career, he had a total of 62 receiving touchdowns. That's a lot. He was averaging around 63 yards a game. That's not bad. And he had 9,174 total receiving yards. So if you don't know him because you're not in Detroit, well, now you know. You're welcome. Staying in the division, we have another wide receiver by the name of Jake Reed, who came into the league in 1991 and retired in 2002. That's a 12-year career. The man had 6,999 total receiving yards in his career. God, if he got one more, he'd just be straight up at 7K. That's awesome. He also had a total of 36 touchdowns in his career. When you compare that to Herman Moore's numbers, it really doesn't seem as impressive, but still a good amount of touchdowns. So he played for Minnesota from 91 to 99. Then he went to New Orleans. Then he went back to Minnesota. Then he went back to New Orleans. That's really weird. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Going back to back. I got the drink in me going back to back.
Up next is a running back by the name of James Brooks. He came into San Diego in 1981, played there for 3 years, and he went to Cincinnati. He spent most of his time in Cincinnati all the way until he started playing for Cleveland in 1992. And then in that same year, he got traded to Tampa Bay and finished out the 92 season there and retired. So he had a 12-year career. If you're looking at his stats, you notice that he had 49 total rushing touchdowns, which, hey, that's not too bad. He had 7,962 total rushing yards.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Up next, we have the athlete that I chose to be the cover for this post. Hey, who do you think was great, but younger fans don't know? John Randall came into the league in 1990, played for Minnesota all the way up until 1999. All the way up until 2000, and then he played for Seattle for 3 years after that. 14 total years in the league. Now, he played D-end, and then it looks like he went to D-tackle for a while. Then he went back to edge. Then he went back to tackle. Then he went back to edge. Then he went back to tackle. And it looks like he had a clear-cut prime starting in 93 and ending in around like 1998-ish, where he just made the Pro Bowl every year. First team All-Pro every year, second in Defensive Player of the Year votes in 96 and 98, it looks like. This man has 137 and a half sacks total in his career. That's fucking insane. That's ridiculous, man. Let's see, he has 471 solo tackles, 556 combined tackles. I don't know if the 471 goes into that 556. I really don't know how these stats work. TBH. But hey, if you know, then you know, and then you know. So, yeah, John Randall was a fucking problem in Minnesota. Or I guess he wasn't a problem. He was a problem for everybody else in that division. But man, what a game wrecker. Up next, we have Kevin Green. He came into the league in 1985 as a linebacker prospect, and he played linebacker for the next 14 years after that, a total of 15 years in the league. He played for the Rams from 85 to 92. Then he went to Pittsburgh for a couple years. In 1996, he went to Carolina for a year. Then he went to San Francisco. Then he went back to Carolina for another 2 years and retired in 99. Something that's notable, he had 27 forced fumbles in his career. That's not nothing. That's certainly something to track. He had 160 sacks. That can't be right. He had 160 sacks, bro. Oh my God. Bro, what? That's insane. He had 669 solo tackles as well. That's pretty good. And 18 tackle for losses. That seems kind of weirdly low. I don't know. Like, how could you be getting all those sacks but no tackles for losses? That's weird. In 1989, he was second team All-Pro and made the Pro Bowl. In 1994, when he was with Pittsburgh, he made another Pro Bowl, and he was first team All-Pro that year, and he finished sixth in Defensive Player of the Year votes that year, so he was doing pretty good. And the next 2 years after that, he also made Pro Bowls. Then 1996, he was first team All-Pro again and finished second in Defensive Player of the Year votes. So, he had a little like weird late kind of prime there in Pittsburgh, and that 1 year when he played for the Panthers. He also made a Pro Bowl in 1998, which is, it looks like he had a really good career. This is actually this is one of my favorite entries because I had no idea who the fuck Kevin Green is. He was playing for my team, before I was born and shit. So that's awesome. Next up, we have a fullback. I don't really know how to talk about a fullback's stats, so I'll just say that he spent 16 years in the league. A lot of people were very adamant on the post that he was helping develop the running backs that he was blocking for. In 2002, he made the Pro Bowl, and then he made it again in 2005, 2006, and 7. It looks like he had 1,086 receiving yards, which I thought that's pretty interesting. And then he had 807 total rushing yards. So I guess they handed him it, not super often, but not never. He also had 6 total career touchdowns rushing the ball. And he actually had twice that receiving. So he had 12 receiving touchdowns in his career. I thought that was pretty interesting. So kind of a gadget guy, but, he made those Pro Bowls. He was first team All-Pro in 2006 and 2007. He was also second team All-Pro in 2005. So very illustrious career for Lorenzo Neal, and definitely worth the mention there. So he went and played for New Orleans for a couple years. He played for the Jets. He played for Tampa Bay. He played for Tennessee. He played for Cincinnati. He played for San Diego. He played for Baltimore. Not a team that he said no to, basically. So yeah, that's Lorenzo Neal. Next up, we have Natron Means. Business. He came into the league in 1993 and played until 2000. That's a total of 8 years. He was a running back, and he played for San Diego, Jacksonville, San Diego again, then Carolina. Hey, but he didn't play a single snap for Carolina. No, it's okay. Let's look at his stats, rushing stats for the running back. That makes sense, right? He had 52. Why do I do that? Why do I do 5,200? He had 5,215 total rushing yards, and he had 45 touchdowns on the ground. So that's very respectable, very respectable. He made the Pro Bowl one time in 1994. That's his second year in the league at 22 years old when he was playing for San Diego. And other than that, he doesn't really have a lot of awards and accolades, but he is remembered fondly by the people because he was nominated to be on this list. So let's go to the next guy. Neil Smith was an edge rusher who came into the league in 1988 and played until 2000. That's 13 years for people who are bad at math. That's me. He played for Kansas City and then he played for Denver. Why would he do that? And then he went to San Diego. So you had a little in-division trade there. And then it looks like he had a little prime starting in 91 and ending in 95 where he made 5 straight Pro Bowls. And then in 1993, he made first team All-Pro and he was 5th in Defensive Player of the Year voting. He also made second team All-Pro and he was 3rd place in Defensive Player of the Year votes in 1995. And then he was second team All-Pro in 1997. So a lot more accolades than our last, player. Not to throw him under the bus, but so he had 34 forced fumbles in his career. That's pretty high, pretty good. He had 104 sacks. Holy hell. 104 and a half total sacks in his career. 582 tackles. Not bad. So yeah, really respectable career for Neil Smith, and he deserves very much to be on this list because I don't know how many people know him. Up next, we have Robert Newhouse, and he came into the league in 1972. Man, that guy's old. Wow. Okay, holy uncle. 1972, he came in. He played until 1983, so that's 12 total years. He was a running back, and then he switched over to fullback, and then he switched back over to running back. He has 4,784 total rushing yards off of 1,160 attempts, and 31 rushing touchdowns to go right with it. So you can tell that he was a freaking unit and a force. Even when he was at fullback, he was still being productive. Newhouse played his entire career for the Dallas "This Year Is Our Year" Cowboys, and I'm sure he's still thought of fondly by old Cowboys fans to this day. Old ass motherfuckers! Next up, we have edge rusher Simeon Rice, who played for Arizona for a couple years. In 2001, he went over to Tampa, and then he finished his career in Denver and in Indianapolis in 2007. This is our first Defensive Rookie of the Year finalist. He actually got the fucking Defensive Rookie of the Year award, and he was All-Pro in 1996 when he's 22 years old. That's awesome. He also made 3 Pro Bowls. He made first team All-Pro in 2002, second team All-Pro in 2003. So he had a little, he was doing good back then. Let's look at his sacks. He had 122 total sacks. That's a shit ton, dude. It looks like his career high came in 1999. Same year he was second team All-Pro. So, yeah, there you go. That's Simeon Rice, known fondly by Tampa fans, I'm sure. Known fondly by Arizona fans, I'm sure. Next up, we have Tim Brown, who spent 17 years in the league. 16 of them as a Raider, and his last year in Tampa Bay, right before he retired in 2004. So, looking at his stats, we have 14,934 total yards receiving, which is a fucking shitload. He was right at 100 touchdowns, which, hey, that's how he knew to retire. He was like, hey, I gotta fucking retire right now. I just got number 100, brother. So, yeah, that's awesome, dude. He made it to 9 Pro Bowls in his career. He was also on 2 All-Pro squads, one in 97, it looks like, and another one in 88 when he was a rookie. So that's pretty impressive. I think that's the most receiving yards that I've seen in this list so far today. So, and we've had quite a few receivers. So Tim Brown was kind of a fucking force. And if you're a Raiders fan, I'm sure you remember him fondly, especially if you were watching in the 90s. Next up, we have Wilber Marshall. He played for Chicago for 4 years, and then he went to Washington for 5 years. Then he went to Houston, Arizona, and the Jets. And then once he played for the Jets, he was like, fuck it, I can't do this shit no more. And he just fucking retired. He just was like, I'm done, dude. He was a linebacker, and he finished his career with 1,020 solo tackles. He made 3 Pro Bowls. In 1992, he was first team All-Pro and third in Defensive Player of the Year votes. 1991, he was second team All-Pro and was 6th in Defensive Player of the Year votes. In 1986, he was first team All-Pro, made the Pro Bowl, and he finished third in Defensive Player of the Year votes. So for a linebacker, those are pretty good stats. It's a pretty long time that he played, and I can see why he was voted to be onto the list, and I can see why he deserves to be remembered by even the younger fans. Last but not least, we have Willie Anderson. He was a tackle for Cincinnati for many years. 13 years he played total in his career. His last year he played in Baltimore, where he made an All-Pro there. He started making the Pro Bowl in 2003, all the way through 2006. He was a Pro Bowler. And in 2003, he was second team All-Pro. 2004, 5, and 6, he was first team All-Pro. This is kind of random, but he had 4 fumble recoveries, so good job. And in 195 games, he started 184, so he was very consistent and healthy for Cincinnati. Well, that's it for this one. It's your boy, APF, and if you enjoyed this video, let me know. Leave a comment or like it, and I'll work on a part 2. All right, that's it for me. I'm gonna go into the void.